until other funding is secured, not from the church, from partners. Then we'll probably do a phase and do like I just did now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it is a little bit after 6 o'clock here on Tuesday, February 14th, and we'll call to order this meeting of the Murphysboro City Council. As is our usual, I ask that we would all rise. We have with us here this evening Pastor Nathan of the Baptist Church. We ask you to lead us in invocation, please.
Yeah, please join me. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity to be together and to be leaders in our community and in our city. I pray that you just guide this meeting and help us to be wise and to let your wisdom rule over us, God. It's in your holy, most precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Zachary, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Hughes. Here. Alderman Curry Wilson here. Alderman Campo. Here. Alderman Austin. Here. Alderman Tippin. Here. Alderman Urbis. Here. Alderman McComb.
Here.
Alderman Baster.
Here.
Alderman Gladden.
Here.
Mayor Stevens.
Here. First on the agenda tonight, we have something that I consider to be very bittersweet, and that is the presentation that we're going to present to Russell Brown, who's with us here tonight. Russell, of course, been a member of the Murphysboro City Council up until the end of last year for nearly 20 years, and has served the city of Murphysboro in a number of different capacities as a business owner, as a police officer, just countless contributions. And so I'd like to have Chief Ellemeyer join me up front at this time, and then I'm going to go around and read into the record this proclamation honoring Russell. Russell, would you like to remain seated?
Yeah.
All right. Office of the Mayor, Murphysboro, Illinois Proclamation, Russell Brown Day, Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Whereas Russell Brown was born in Murphysboro on March the 30th, 1939, and whereas Russell Brown graduated from Douglas School in Murphysboro in 1953 and from Murphysboro Township High School in 1957, and whereas Russell Brown and his wife Janet have spent the majority of their lives in Murphysboro raising their 2 children here, and where Russell Brown was the first black police officer to serve on the Murphysboro Police Force, serving from June the 2nd, 1969 to June the 9th, 1989, is a founding member of the Murphysboro Black Alumni Society, and was the founder and owner-operator of Brown's Barbecue from 1988 until 2005. And whereas Russell Brown served on the Murphysboro City Council for nearly 20 years, from June of 2003 until December of 2022, and has lived a life of service to his community, love for his family, and professionalism in his work. And whereas the city of Murphysboro wishes to honor his life with special recognition, therefore let it be known that on behalf of the city of Murphysboro, I, Will Stevens, Mayor of Murphysboro with the City Council, declare Thursday, March the 30th, 2023, Russell's 84th birthday as Russell Brown Day throughout the city of Murphysboro.
To present you with the plaque with all the patches on there. I think this is probably the one you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what we have now, 40 years of service or more. Really thank and appreciate, and it's a privilege to get to hand that to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Be here, I haven't seen him quite a long time. The mayor checked on me every week. He called the house once or twice a week, checking on me. I really appreciate that. I'll be coming back.
Well, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing if I didn't call you.
You heard from me.
I'm gonna just take another moment, walk around here, and if you wouldn't mind just holding those and getting your photo, because I'd like to send it to the paper. Sure. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay.
I told him he could stick around if he wanted to learn about how a city council meeting goes. He probably doesn't need any extra experience, so you're welcome. Takes it whenever you want, Russell. But again, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, that takes us into our regular agenda items this evening. Up first, we have the consideration of minutes from January 31st, 2023, which are included in your packet, and I'd entertain any questions or amendments to the minutes at this time. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us into our regular committee and commission reports. We go first with Budget and Finance chaired by W.J. Peck.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no items under old business. Under new business, we have financial statement prepared by Scott Davis, Budget Officer. Scott?
Thank you, WJ. So for all, sometimes I have just one report. So, but it's a good report. The sales tax and home rule tax that we got for February was $358,384, surpassing last year's mark at this time by about 26,000. So continues to be a very strong number every month in those departments. Now it is lower than last month, but that's almost a statistical anomaly. So I would say very good, strong month. This would be the November sales too, so it does catch part of the Christmas buying season. And we'll have the full brunt of the Christmas shopping season in there. So that's all. So any questions?
It's the best report you've given in 10 years.
Some, yeah, maybe, who knows?
All right.
Thank you, Scott.
Yep.
Next item is consideration of pay estimate number 1 for the ARP project. Harold, is that something you
I can. I mean, it's just, this is for the water, sanitary sewer improvements, the water main replacement, the ARPA project. And you may think you're paying a lot here, not a whole lot's been done, but this is strictly for our material store. Almost all the materials are on site for the water. Little update on the sewer inspection. They were back today trying to get through one more section of sewer to pre-clean and measure for lining, and typically they would not submit a bill until they get the lines lined. So there are some problems. I'm still waiting on videos from all those to try to look at those and see what we might have to do.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Is this something there's an actionable item on we need to vote on?
It does need to be voted on, yes, OJ.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve this pay estimate number 1 for the ARPA project. Second. With a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, is this something we're going to approve into Budget and Finance on a regular basis, and we normally do that out of committee?
Well,
I don't mind, but I'm just asking.
one of the things that Sandra and I discussed the other day was we've run into situations where we are approving things in the, Sandra, you explain.
There's an actual that we've already actually approved the check. Yeah. So.
And that would have transpired tonight because of the ARPA
Correct.
project situation.
That's why.
And so, as we were talking about how to fix that to where we were doing it, I just thought, well, we'll just start,
Putting it in there. I think
when that happens, we'll start listing it there, so we're not,
I think that's fine. I think that'll give everybody a heads up that there's an actionable item in the accounts payable too,
Right.
so.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions about the bills then? Hearing none, entertain a motion to pay the bills. Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's the last item under new business. Is there any public comment under budget and finance? Hearing none, we can move out of budget.
thank you very much, WJ. That takes us to Building and Grounds, chaired by Mr. Mike Austin.
Thank you, Mayor. Under old business, we have nothing, and under new business, we have nothing so far. Do we have any public comments regarding buildings and grounds?
Mike, I think Pastor Nathan might have wanted to address this information he handed out
Okay.
here. Really could, I guess, do it anywhere, but
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a good
Pastor
time.
Nathan?
I'm here representing the Murphysboro Ministerial Alliance, and I also work at First Baptist Church, and I'm the new president of the Ministerial Alliance. As the Ministerial Alliance, we wanted to do a goal this year of coming together and meeting a real need in our community. The lady who does the Fellowship of Christian Athletes at our middle school, Holly Thompson, shared that the students had an idea of something called the Safe Haven Baby Box, and they were looking for a church or an organization to kind of head it up as they did a bit of fundraising. So we looked at the idea. To give like a brief overview, the concept is that in the police or fire station, there would be a drop box for unwanted babies. So the police and fire station is already a safe haven place, meaning that any mother can bring an unwanted baby up to 30 days or some allotted amount of days and hand her baby off, no questions asked. However, statistically says that 90% of women in that situation would rather discard their child than hand it to a human. So even though there's an opportunity there to give your baby away, because of the human element, there's a big wall there, which is just an uncomfortable truth for everybody to be aware of. So in a solution to that, this company invented something called the Safe Haven Baby Box. Best way I can describe it is a book box or any other drop box in a wall that you've ever seen. It's an enclosed, sealed thing. You open the door, a silent alarm goes off. There's a packet in there for mom answering any question they could possibly think of and explaining everything. She sets the baby in, closes the door. Within 90 seconds, a police or fire officer would come and grab the baby. The protocol would be to immediately take the baby to the hospital and get a full evaluation. There's a cost to this that the Murphysboro Ministerial Alliance, in partnership with churches and other organizations, would fully cover. And then there's an annual maintenance fee, which is why we wanted to do it through the Alliance, so that there's some means of taking care of it year after year. I talked this over with somebody, maybe Scott, and he mentioned building the new thing, and I'm out of the loop. I've only moved here for a year, so I don't know everything. But it'd be a great idea for the new building, especially if it could somehow be in the plan to minimize like human sight and interaction. Because you gotta think, okay, like if I'm a woman, do I confidently walk in front of 10 police cars, or do I confidently walk on the other side of the building that has slightly less good lighting, or like a different color of lighting? You know, maybe it's blue lights, or just food for thought in the design. But apart from that, that's 3 years away or however long, and if we could get it installed tomorrow, I would install it tomorrow. I don't, if it helps one baby, then it was worth not waiting to put it in the new building. Our church has an organization that already stepped forward and contributed $1,000. Another church, Pastor Marty with the United Methodists, already committed $1,000, and they're talking about committing another $1,000. The Murphysboro Ministerial Alliance is going to ask all the churches and then cover the remaining difference. So as far as paying for it, it's solved. Now there is a hiccup in our state, and I don't know this, I'm just reading from their website. In our state, we've got a rule or whatever. So back in our packet, there's an example, I think it's your very last 3 pages, of a city ordinance that they had to write up and vote in to allow this in their city. So an example of that is at the last 3 pages of your packet. I apologize, I don't understand it at all. And I don't know what it would take on y'all's part. That's why I'm here asking. Does anybody have any questions that maybe I could answer?
Well, I noticed here that it says initial fee, and obviously I'm just sort of skimming this at this time, but I heard you say maybe like you had $3,000 raised?
Yeah, already lined up, and the Murphysboro Ministerial Alliance has $18,000 in our account.
Okay. I
And
just saw that it
we're
said
willing to,
$1,000, so I didn't know if you had enough money to actually.
we're willing to cover the difference.
Okay.
We just want to, I want to spend all my money. I will spend all my money, but if other people will contribute, we're trying to provide that opportunity. But no, I mean, the money's there if we wanted to move tomorrow. I don't know how quick, I'm a big dreamer and a sprinter, so,
Yeah.
but the money's there to get it paid for and installed and cover the annual fee.
Barb, you have a question?
The proposed ordinance, do we have any idea if it's every state that has to have, or, does Illinois have a state law that says that, or is this federal that says we?
It's state by state on their website, and maybe somewhere in here.
So do we know for sure that we have to have an ordinance through, if we're in the state of Illinois?
Well, page 6
You
says.
do
I'm
need,
sorry, I
yes.
just had skimmed through.
Yes, you do need an ordinance. They specifically answered me in the email, and they're like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
this. And then there's that picture on page 6 of the states that it already has passed in,
Okay,
and those would be states they don't need us.
but there are these city ordinances that need to be passed.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess our first, if we are in agreement with this, our first thing would be to have our attorneys draw up some kind of a proposed ordinance.
Well, I think we would want our attorney to review the
Well, sure, I
ordinance
get
that's
that,
here, and then we can.
I am absolutely thrilled that you're doing this. Thank you very much for your input on that too. Also, you two guys back there, chiefs, I'd just like to know your feelings.
Oh, it's a good idea. They came out years ago with,
Well, I know they've come out with.
well,
hospital
no, I'm
food
talking
and
about
such.
the safe haven to come to the police department and the fire
Yes.
department to turn a child over, and this is just a continuation of that.
Well, and if it were not having to walk through that front door with that baby in your hand and hand it over to another person, if it can be discreetly done, I think you'll have more participation in it from mothers that just can't take care of those babies.
Yeah, I received one baby when I was in Carbondale Fire Department all those years. And, she,
But if they have opportunity.
but if they can do it anonymously, it's probably
Yeah.
easier. The
Oh, yeah.
only concern is, does it create a blind spot for security of the building? That's the only question, so, but those things can be addressed.
Thank you both.
Well, it's not on our agenda tonight, so it couldn't act, but I would say that, just what Barb said, let our attorney review it, and we could put it on agenda for a later meeting for further consideration.
Thank you, everyone.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan. Is there any other public comments on the building and grounds? If not, Mayor, we can move out of building and grounds.
Thank you very much. That takes us to community relations. We have no old business. Our new business, Russell. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
In the mail.
Under new business, we have the consideration of the street closure request from the Murphysboro Chamber of Commerce for St. Patrick's Day celebration. Questions or comments on this item?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, Mayor.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That was good to know.
We also have with us this evening Ashley Runge from Hometown Christmas. She asked to address the council this evening. So Ashley, it's all yours.
Yes, my name is Ashley Runge. I am the co-director of Murphysboro Hometown Christmas. I just wanted to come tonight and personally thank you for your support of our crew and all of our events. We wouldn't be able to do what we've done without the support of the city, both physically and financially. Mayor Stevens has been helpful and supportive in so many ways, and we can't thank him enough. Joe Fry and the Park District, Darren Mills, Carly Iser, all the city crew, Chief Ellemeyer, Chief McBride, and their team, they've just been beyond gracious to us, and we are just extremely thankful. Through your financial support, we were able to start 2 new events this year, our gingerbread house contest, and we had a reindeer in the park. We were able to provide new decorations for our carriage route as well as throughout the town. And just able to continue what we've done with our ever-rising costs. Some things cost us 3 times what they have cost in the past. So we were very grateful. But I just wanted to thank you and thank you for supporting us and letting us continue what we're doing.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot, a whole lot. And your crew does good work.
Thank you.
It's all well organized. All right. That is everything under community relations. Is there any public comment? Ms. Campos.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just saying that we are about a year away from our next total eclipse. And bring the crossroads, I think as a city, we might want to start getting the ball rolling on preparedness for that event.
Joe Fry, who of course, Riverside Park is an area that was used for viewing by a lot of people several years ago. And I know that they are starting to consider things. And then I was also just last week asked to join a conference call, which I did with Steve Mitchell and various other regional leaders, and talking about what they are doing to coordinate events surrounding the eclipse. And so I think you make a good point, because it's April, I can't remember the date.
24,
Of
27. No, April something, 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not.
So it's
What is dead outside home?
just not here. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be looking at that and seeing what we can do to help facilitate a good event.
Yeah, it's good for the town, good for the people. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing further, we'll come out of community relations, go to public improvement. Mr. Mike Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. We have nothing listed under old business, and we have nothing listed under new business this evening, unless anybody wants to add anything, or if we have any public comment. With that being said, we can close public improvement and move into public works, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mr. McCall?
Yes, under old business, back to the cost for the salt storage. Darren, do we have anything new on that?
Nothing new from the last time. I just attended. I thought we could do something for around $30,000 and 25 to 30. No big hurt.
Are we still planning on doing it at the bottom of the hill?
If we can get everything cleared off down there, yeah, I think that would be ideal.
Now, I was told while they're on that there is a well up on that hillside we'd have to look for that catches a lot of that water.
We've also talked about moving our rock storage down there and using the upper area for the salt as well. So either way will work.
Now, the bottom would probably be easier to get a semi in, wouldn't it, or would it?
It probably would, but you gotta realize that we'll have, 30 or 40 semis a year come in with rock, and we're gonna have 4 or 5 come in a year with salt, so.
Yeah.
Whichever's easier for the rock to get in would probably be the better place to leave the rock lower than that.
Did I hear you say earlier today when we were talking to Darren that we could use NFT money on this?
No, that was, we were talking about enterprise.
Okay, all right, I have too many
Certain,
conversations with you.
that's the motor fuel money is what pays for the rock. And
Right.
so that's what we're able to use out there.
I think other have used MFT money. I can check on that and see. I mean,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that they have, I know for covers, they've used MFT money.
Well, let's check that out and see if that's a possibility or not. But I think $30,000 would be something we could easily, look at budgeting for next year and just sort of look at it that way. Just a thought.
Yeah, and it'll be built in stages anyway with the concrete, that's gonna settle off for the floors and the walls that they form with concrete are usually them other concrete blocks that they got, the big ones, I don't know which one would be the cheapest. You see a lot of them, they got them big blocks they use like for the fence on the highway. You can use them as stagnant, and there's a lot of places got their rock, that they deliver rock, that's what they use. That figure which one would be how much cheaper.
And I did talk to the county, to the township, and apparently the township did have an agreement with the county, but they don't any longer. They are using, this is the first I'd heard of even this term, they mix turkey grit in with their salt. And by doing that, they don't apparently have to store it under roof. But I don't know what the effectiveness of that is. And it sounded like an odd principle to me, that you could mix something with salt and then all of a sudden it would store it outside.
I'm afraid to even ask what turkey grit is.
That's what I think it might be.
Part of the turkey is the grit.
I know true grit was a movie, but I don't think.
Would chickens work too?
Okay, moving on.
Well, I just want to be sure that we pursue with the county
Yeah.
to see how they respond.
Well, and I did talk to Kyle Morgan with the township, and I asked him, when you were loading out there, who loaded your trucks? And he said a county person did. I said, did you have any agreement with them about, well, what if the county used, puts a bucket through the side of your truck or something? He said, I don't think so. I said, well, ignorance is bliss, I guess.
Well, under that part, Mayor, you realize how much time and how much fuel we're gonna use. You're gonna know it's not that far out there, but you run it back and forth there several times a night. You gotta get your equipment out there to load it. If we build it for $30,000 right there where the guys are at, we're gonna make that up in fuel and the cost of them running back and forth pretty quick.
Yeah, when we were talking about $100,000 for a salt shed, that was kind of hard to stomach, but, 30 is a little easier to handle.
Well, if they've got to go down there, get their truck, warm them up, drive out to the county jobs, garage, spread a load, go back out there, take the equipment back out to load it, it's not going to take too long to burn up $30,000 in man hours and fuel running back and forth. Thus, you're going to have to weigh that truck or go by the scoops that you put in the bed of a truck for estimated weight. If we can build for $30,000 down with a guy's park, we're going to be money ahead in the long run.
All right.
because winter isn't gonna go away. Under new business, consideration of an ordinance amending requirements for permit, application fees, and regulations for building and fence permits.
I think Charlie Iser had this put on the agenda.
Yeah, these are some things that I have come across since I've started, so I've been kind of jotting notes down, and it's come up multiple times. I think when I first started, we had just voted on the swimming pool fence, and it kind of brought my attention to it. We really didn't have a definition of what actually a fence was, what constituted a fence, the materials for fences. Just today, I've had 4 different situations with fences. You know, some people were just using pallets and sticks and some twine, and so we didn't really have anything to lean on. So I pulled some ordinances from surrounding towns and some towns from afar and drafted up these, and then had Richard had looked at them as well. And with that, in the packet is the permit fee revamp. It's kind of our number one. When I try to explain it to somebody, it's difficult for them to grasp. The $25 and then the additional $2 per thousand. And when you get into it's X amount number of dollars, you're sitting there trying to count with your fingers. And should defer them to Scott maybe with the money situation. Can work with it a little bit easier than I can, but I did pull all the permits that we issued, building permits, fence permits, on that, and for last year, and there would be a little bit of a jump, increase of price as well, for that as well. So.
Well, Charlie, you're saying you want us to adopt this tonight?
Yeah, we could.
I entertain a motion to do
I have
that.
questions. Sorry, Gary.
No, all right, go ahead.
Okay, I don't have any problem with what we're doing at all. It's just operationally, some things as I was reading through. You say that they can submit, fill it out and submit the code to the code office electronically.
Yeah, this page here is actually where my notes that I had been writing down. That's not actually what we're proposing for the change. The changes on the backside would be for the permit fees to be changed to what's on there, and then just the article with the fences.
No, right, but my question is, or what I would like to see is that they can get the form off, but to submit it, I would like for them to come face-to-face to people in the office. With checking.
I would agree with you partially on that. Contractors don't want to spend time to come into the office to pay with check or whatever. They want to have their secretary that's in, some of these contractors are in Marion or Mount Vernon or wherever, they're working in town, but it's their crew, it's maybe not the general contractor. So it's their secretary that calls, that fills out the permit, that wants to have it processed, pay with a credit card, and be done, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you are already set up to take a credit card?
Yeah, we can, yes. As of right now, we already can.
Okay.
I think Brian was working
I
with
wasn't aware of that.
the new website and so forth and so on, but.
Do we need to state somewhere that they cannot start construction, the project, until it's been paid?
Yeah, I would think we'd have to have that.
I think that's probably in different sections that aren't included in what we're amending.
Okay, okay.
But isn't that included under the numeral 3651? Permanent parking shall be unlawful for any person to construct, install, or renovate any fence without first having complied with each of the following provisions. A, obtain a permit for installation.
Okay, good. No, I was just reading that. I read all of it, but anyway, those were just some things I saw here. I make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Is there any public comment on public works?
Gary, I believe, yeah, go ahead.
Hi folks, Nathan Colombo with Clearway Fiber. Again, I appreciate the time that the city has put in for us in just the past couple of weeks since we were last able to attend a city council meeting. This evening, I want to come in and check in with some of the higher up decision makers and folks that are able to meet the permit process that we're going to be establishing for our activity in town. I just want to make sure that we had some names and some faces to present to you. Brittany was here with me last time. She's my fellow community relations manager. We have our general manager for the market, Strider Dennison. Bob, if you want to give your job title, because I never got it right.
Senior Director of Construction.
and Chad Bishop here.
Chad's a Senior Manager of Construction.
So as I understand where we're at now, Charlie had drafted an initial process for the permitting, and Mayor Stevens has shared that with some of the folks that are internal to us for us on the next step. I just want to make sure that what this looks like is us reviewing the permitting process with you guys, and then it would look to be adopted at a future city council meeting. Does that sound like what we're looking at next steps?
Yeah, that's where we're at. Just so the council, knows, I think I shared this at the last meeting, myself, along with Charlie, Darren, Tim, and Richard Blake, have put together a permit that requires various distances between our utilities and their installations, a permit fee. It also has some language that Richard added in regard to some things that the fire department had asked for. And I had sent it to Clearwave late last week, I guess it was, and suspected that they would have questions or comments on it, and I just hadn't heard back from anybody on your side as of yet.
So, and we will make sure to review that and get back with you all on our questions or comments. I know one of the big things in just what little bit of initial review some of our folks have had is to see if we can stack the permitting process. That is to say, if we're able to achieve several permits back to back, to know once we complete permit 1, we're able to immediately roll into permit 2 and permit 3 and just continue pace of work within the confines that the city has asked, but that the permitting process stays relatively quick. So we'll make sure that we work through that, get back with the city here in the next week or so. But big thing tonight was to show, hey, last time we met, it was not just about talking to you guys and hoping for the best. We do have hands on this. We are taking this seriously. We really appreciate kind of the precedent that Murphysboro is helping us set, because we do think that the process we go through here will be something we can replicate with other partner cities that we work with. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being here. Council,
I would like to commend the company also, because a lot of the information that we presented to you last time, that wasn't, always negative. It was a little more negative than positive, unfortunately. I commend you for sending people out to correct a lot of those problems. I will tell you that in the historic preservation area, it is 10 times better since someone came and cleaned it. Anyway, but I do thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hughes, and we will be here, we're going to be a part of the community.
And
for the
that's
duration.
what we're depending on too. So.
Yeah, we're local and anxious to provide fabulous high-speed fiber for your great community.
And again,
I can go on and on, but I won't bore you with that.
I don't know if that's all over town, but I will tell you, in my work, it is a lot better.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you for that.
So I send our award to everything that we're taking care of, 16th Street, everything looks really good, so thank you for doing a good job.
Do we have a timeline established?
Well, that we have to pass the ordinance.
as long as Clearway doesn't have, which I don't know.
Mr. Mayor, we're going to do anything you ask us to do.
Well,
we should, yes.
Just bring your checkbook with you.
Got about $2,000 worth of outstanding invoices.
I'll look into that first thing in the morning. We'll get that wrapped
It
up.
was $300 one the other day, so it's down to about half, but
I'll need to know what it's pertaining to, but I will expedite payment immediately.
Okay.
Who might I reach out to?
Me. Fire chief at Murphysboro.com.
I'll give you a call in the morning, so.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll just presume that I'll hear back from,
Do we know who it was sent to by
I have
chance?
been talking with Mr. Gregg, is his last name.
Yep, here.
And I have sent all of that information to
Okay,
him.
I know what it is. We'll just make sure that we'll follow up on our end.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes it takes us, pushing the send button a couple times.
I know how that works, believe me. I do the spam folders, they eat everything important.
If you'll forgive us, we got to sneak out of here. Some of these guys have to get on the road late this evening, but.
We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is there any more public comment on public work? Seeing none or hearing none, Mayor, I guess we can move out.
Thank you, Gary. That takes us to public safety. We have no old business, we have no new business. Mr. Urbis, you're on the phone. Do you have anything for us on public safety? Unless there's any public comment on public safety, we'll come out of that and go to personnel chaired by Ms. Barbara Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor. Right now, there's no old business, no new business, and unless there's public comment on personnel or permanent personnel, we can go out with that.
Thank you very much. The only thing I have under the mayor's report is some information from Miss Angela Jackson. She is a woman that I would like to potentially appoint to the city council at our next meeting to replace Russell. She was recommended to me by Russell Brown, and I've talked with her and met with her since, and I think that she would be a good addition, and I think even Gina said she wasn't too bad. So, having worked with Gina for some time.
She's a reason why
She's
she's
a
not
nice
here
lady.
tonight, Mayor.
Well,
She is.
just because I wanted to give the council just this information about her and then have her actual appointment on our next council meeting.
But I just wanted to know.
I didn't tell her she needed to be here.
Well, I thought she'd be here because Russell.
I did too.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I know that her, maybe I'd say too much, but I know she had told me that her husband has had some health issues recently, and so I think she's been taking care of him, and that may have kept her from being here. Yes.
I actually sit with Angela on the Distinguished Alumni Committee under the Education Foundation. She's a great asset to our committee. I think she will be a wonderful person for the council.
Well, thank you for
I
that.
just think it would be nice if we met her before you appoint,
Okay.
if at all possible.
Sure.
That's my own opinion.
Well, if you'd like, I could share her contact information with you.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
Okay.
Just email it or text it to me.
It's on
I will
her-
reach out to her.
It's on her application.
Oh, is it all on? Yeah, it is. Never mind. I will reach out to her. Well, I don't suspect that I would.
No.
I just think that.
I've been on the committee 3 years. With her.
Good, I'm glad.
She's a huge asset.
I'm glad.
All right. We don't have anything else, or I don't have anything else on the mayor's report, so I'll go to council member requests. I'll go to Ms. Hughes.
There's something skipping through now.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
no problem. Ms. Graywood, Ms. Gilmore.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I have nothing, Mayor, thank you.
Hunziker,
Thank you.
Mr. Fenton, Mr. McCall,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Bastian,
Nothing, thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Gladden.
Want to thank Charlie and his crew who had all input on getting that done. Good job.
Barb,
Yeah.
Mr. Ernst. Okay. We go to department head request, Attorney Blake. Ms. Richmond.
Nothing.
Mr. Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Bride.
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Elmeyer.
Nothing, thank you.
Shepherd.
Nothing.
Valley.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Heiser.
I just want to thank Richard for, I've been picking his ear quite a bit here the last few days and helping me with double checking everything I wrote on those ordinances. It's appreciative. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Lee? Mr. Platson?
Nothing.
Mr. Mills? No. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
I stand by that.